Hey guys, Tang with Fox Airsoft here, and today's video is going to be about the controls on an airsoft pistol. We have a lot of new players who probably just got a new pistol for the holidays, or if you just want to know generally how the guns work, and having never fired an airsoft gun before, this video is going to be about that. We're going to cover a couple different styles just to show that they're a little bit different from one another, but as far as charging gas or using CO2, they're going to be all the same. As we get into explaining these airsoft pistols, one thing I want to make clear is safety is the most important. So when you're handling airsoft pistols, rifles, or otherwise, always treat these like real guns. So observe the 4 firearm safety rules. 1 is treat all guns as if they're loaded. 2 is keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. 3 is do not cover anything with a muzzle that you're not willing to shoot at. And 4 is be aware of your target's foregrounds and backgrounds. That's important because when you're using the airsoft pistol, whether it's in your backyard or in an airsoft field, foreground and background is definitely important. You have to be aware of your surroundings and when it's okay and when it's not okay to fire your airsoft gun. Let's start with the pistols. I have a couple here. Your standard 1911, very popular style here. A Beretta style pistol here, and then a Glock style pistol. Generally, the controls will be very close to the same. I'm going to start by using the Glock here today. All right, for a semi-automatic pistol, you're going to have a magazine here. The magazine is going to be your power source for a gas gun. This is a CO2 magazine, so right now there's a CO2 capsule in here. Typically, you'll use Allen key or a built-in key to puncture the CO2 canister, which is a 12 gram here. It's ready to go. I'm not going to load it up, but you're going to load some BBs into here, and then she's ready to go. For the pistol, right now it's currently empty. Let's say I haven't racked the slide yet. Trigger does nothing on a Glock or striker fired style gun. Essentially, when you pull the trigger, nothing happens. So there's going to be a few different trigger systems here. You basically have like this or a single action pistol. On a 1911, same thing. You pull the trigger and if it's not cocked, nothing happens. It can't fire the gun. It's not until the hammer is cocked that you can actually pull the trigger and do something. On a double action like a Beretta style pistol or a CZ style pistol, it's a bit of a different story. I'm not going into why these are designed this way. I'm just talking about how they function. Double action can work one of 2 ways. You can pull the trigger outright and it's going to fire, or you can cock the hammer much like a single action gun and fire from there. On a double action gun, once you fire, the round's going to fire and it's going to cycle the next round. You'll notice the hammer's cocked. It's ready to go again. At this point, it's already on the cocked stage of the gun. And that's true of all semi-auto pistols. Basically, after you rack it that first time and you fire, the gun's going to do its thing. It's ready to go again. On a Glock or striker fired style gun that they try to mimic, it's not going to be apparently obvious because there's no external hammer here, but same principle applies. I'm manually racking it just to simulate it firing, but here I'll do the same thing. And what happens is I'm going to hold the slide catch here. So when you fire with ammo, it's going to repeat. Once you're empty, the last BB is gone or about to be fired, you fire that, the slide locks back. The magazine's follower will push a lever in the slide that does this, basically telling the gun that it's empty. What you'll do is you'll grab another loaded magazine, you'll insert that, and you can toggle the or hit the slide release here, or you can also manually rack it and it'll work the same way. Same with this 1911 here. The slide release is up here, and so you'll insert the magazine and you'll hit this and it's ready to go again. On a single action gun like a 1911, your only safeties here are this passive grip safety, so trigger won't go unless you physically hold this. The other thing is you'll have a safety here. This will lock the hammer back or keep the hammer from dropping, but only if the hammer's cocked. Do not force this. And certainly if your safety's on, do not forcibly pull the trigger because you'll damage the internals. On the double action pistols, typically you'll have an external safety as well, like on this Beretta. Again, when this pistol's out, you will load a fresh magazine and hit this, and it's ready to go. The only other control, and you'll find this throughout, is the magazine release. This one's a button style. If you see some HK style pistols, it's usually a lever towards the bottom of the trigger guard that'll drop the magazine. The hop-up, adjustable hop-up, where it is and how you adjust it is going to vary from gun to gun. Typically what this involves is field stripping the gun and then getting down to the barrel. For example, on this Airsoft Glock, which does not strip like a real Glock. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. The real Glock, you have to pull the trigger to field strip it. On the Airsoft one, you have to cock the hammer back and pull on this lever and slide forward. Typically at the hop-up chamber here, there will be a dial or some sort of lever, and that'll adjust the hop-up. Problem with this, or the thing is, you're gonna have to shoot and adjust it and then strip it and then fiddle with the wheel to get the desired setting. No way around that, that's just the way it is. On the 1911, the hop-up's gonna be the same kind of deal. Field stripping is gonna be different. This one field strips like a real 1911, so do it halfway and push this guy out. Lines up with the notch in the slide catch, and then take this out and it'll come off. Also, these gas guns, a lot of them can be taken apart pretty much like the real thing for cleaning or lubrication sake. If this is your pistol, be very careful when you're disassembling for cleaning or whatnot, because there's a lot of springs and things fly out and get lost. So if you don't know what you're doing, resist all urge to take apart anything, because you often lead to more trouble there. On a green gas pistol, everything's going to function and work the same way, with the exception of how you load the gas and store the gas. So essentially the difference between a green gas and a CO2 pistol, besides the pressure, is the magazine and how it looks itself. Typically the green gas magazine will be closed because this functions more as the fuel tank, and you won't have any exposed bits here. You will turn the magazine upside down. There's a fill port. You will press a can of green gas, or you could use propane, but propane's chemically slightly different and you might want to add some oil. And you'll depress that. That transfers the gas into the magazine. Usually you take about anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds, up to you, and it should transfer a sufficient amount of gas into the magazine. You can hold it there for a while, but if it's full, the pressure will equalize and no more will go into it anyway, so don't worry too much about that. There may be some gas that escapes out the side, just as the portion where the fill nozzle and the fill port don't always line up perfectly or seal perfectly, so you're gonna have some gases escape. Other than that, the function's still the same. As far as reasons going between a green gas powered pistol and a CO2 powered pistol, we have some other videos that go into lengths about that. As you shoot your gun, just remember that maybe you might run out of gas first, but always double check to make sure your chamber's cleared, because you might have something in there. Likewise, if you do have something in there and if you cycle a second round into there, you'll probably have 2 in there, and it'll be a really lousy or inaccurate shot. Nothing bad will happen really, but just to warn you, don't chamber 2. All right, so that does it for us today. If you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for your time. I'm Tang with Fox Airsoft. I'll see you guys later.